The mics are hot, and so's the gossip. Let's get into it in 3.
Welcome to In 3. I'm Danielle Graham.
And I'm Callie.
And this duo became a trio recently.
We sure did. We had our very first third wheel join us.
Yeah, none other than Carl Radke of Summer House fame, Bravo celebrity, Callie's dream guest because she is the biggest Bravo fan of all time ever.
He did not disappoint.
No, he did not. And that interview will be coming out later this week. So watch for the announcement on our socials. It'll be across all the audio platforms and as well on YouTube for the full video experience.
The full video experience watching me flirt and giggle with Mr. Radke and really loving life.
It really was the most fun and really kind of a dream week for you because we got to spend some time with the Hey You people and other Summer House guests. Kyle and West were there.
Yes, we met Kyle and West at the screening of the Summer House episode. Mm-hmm. West was like the realest dude. If you wonder whether West is in person the way that he appears on camera, it tells no lies. Like, he is who he is. This man walks the walk, he talks the talk, he is who he is. And I don't think he's not the type of person that changes for anyone.
No, you know what I really appreciated? Having spent time with people from all kinds of, celebrity worlds. We met, so Kyle was in the photo with you and I. So it was you and I and Kyle in the photo op. West joined.
Yeah.
And before we took the photo, he could have just stepped in, took the photo and left. He turned and said, "What's your name?" Introduced himself to both of us and then carried on. It was a very small gesture, but meaningful. And I think it speaks a lot about how he moves through the world.
Do you know the vibe I got from him is that he's genuinely looking for a friend in everyone. His energy was so contagious.
Yeah.
And you can feel that on screen watching Summer House, but to see it in person. Now, at one point, I do have to say, I was abandoned in the most uncomfortable small talk with Wes. Thanks a lot, Danielle.
I didn't listen. We are party buddies. We stick together. We know the system.
Do we stick together?
I don't know what. I got into another lane of a conversation and I thought you were good. I really did.
Listen, it wasn't uncomfortable because of Wes. It was uncomfortable because I'm awkward. And I'm so awkward at small talk. And as I get older, I get more awkward. West is like 28 and he is such a cutie patootie. But I legitimately was like, don't be awkward, don't be awkward. And then of course I was. But no, I got not stuck, but I engaged in a one-on-one chat with Wes.
You did.
Whilst you were looking the other direction on purpose. Thanks a lot.
I know it probably felt like that, but I couldn't leave the conversation I was in either. But that's the thing too. We all have that feeling of like, this small talk is over.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to remove myself or pivot out of this.
Right.
I know.
No, I mean, it was actually a really cute chat. We talked about Winnipeg. At one point, he said, "Oh, how long have you been in Toronto versus Winnipeg?" And I said, "Well, I've been in Toronto longer than I was there." And he was like, "Well, how old were you when you left?" And I was like,
"We're doing math now."
I was like, "West, are you trying to ask me how old I am?"
He's doing mental math for sure.
And he was like, no, it's okay. And I was like, okay, fine. I was 18 when I left. And he was like doing the math and then realized, and he was like, oh, cool. And I was like, why are you not more surprised and impressed by what you see versus the math you just did?
That's right. Like, there's no way.
Yeah. I was looking for that. But
of course you were.
He didn't toss me that bone. But no, it was lovely to meet them. We had such a lovely time. The Hey You team, they were amazing. And we were so happy to be hosted.
Full transparency, was, I dabbled here and there in some reality TV, but I was never... Like, I've never seen full seasons of anything. Now I'm like fully into Summer House. I had no kids on Saturday. My parents so kindly took my kids and I just binged Summer House and reunions.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yes. So now I'm like fully immersed.
Reunions?
I could get in the car right now and drive to a share house. I'm so ready. Like, I'm in.
Well, we kind of do live in a share house.
We kind of do.
Your cottage is like a share house.
It really is. But yeah, I'm deep in the world now. So thank you very much. I'm hooked. I'm in.
Yeah.
It's
and
great.
I love that for us, for all of us,
Yeah.
because we will all just benefit from Danielle falling in love with Bravo the way we all have.
That's
Welcome
it.
to the club.
This was you manifested this, and here we are. And I'm happy to be here. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a terrible time.
It's not a terrible
Yeah.
time. We've got lots to get into on today's show. Do you want to chat about what we want to do for the big three?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so we have to, like everybody else, dissect the finale of season 3 of The White Lotus.
Yep.
We all have many thoughts.
Strap
I'm
in.
fascinated by other people's opinions on it. I just think, it's like you think you know somebody until you hear what they think about The White Lotus.
I know.
And then you're
We
like,
haven't spoken about it.
not
And
a
I
word.
did a poll on my Instagram yesterday that was very, I think, revealing.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Second story in the big three, the Beckham Brothers are feuding.
I have never felt so old than realizing the Beckham children are in their mid to late 20s.
Yeah.
Dear Lord.
I have a hard time keeping them straight. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
Like if you put the 3 boys in a lineup, I would have to take a second till I could identify who was who. And then our third story in the big three, George Clooney. Lots going on in the world of George.
Yeah.
On Broadway.
Love to see the Clune star.
We sure do. Didn't see his wife, and we'll get into that.
Yes. And then we have to talk about the space expedition. The space expedition with the ladies.
Yeah.
That's there's a lot there.
That's a hot button issue. And I'm actually very excited that we're talking about this.
Yes.
Let's get into the first story. The White Lotus season 3 finale was on Sunday night. It was at 9:00. My brother and his wife, my sister-in-law, are on a reality show right now that is also premiering at 9:00 on
Right.
Sunday nights. And I had to make a choice.
And
I chose The White Lotus.
well,
And I recorded their show and I watched it
you're gonna
after.
watch their show. No,
Done.
for sure.
But like you have to watch this in real time.
Because the spoilers are
right.
spoiling. And if you don't get there, you're in trouble, girl.
You can't open your phone
No.
until you watch that show.
No.
So, okay.
Okay. So on the count of 3, we're going to say yes if we liked it and no if we were disappointed.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Yes.
No.
Okay.
Okay, no, it's not that I didn't like it. There was
Okay.
lots of things I liked. I loved Lori's speech at the table with the girlfriends. That relationship, the entire season, I was like, oh man, this is really toxic. I don't love this. But then when she said, as you get older in life, you start to have to justify your choices. And I was like, you're right, you do. And as much as they were complicated and everything else, I feel like there was a sisterhood there. I loved that. I don't know why I just loved Belinda going against her moral compass and taking that hush money. I was like,
Take that money.
Get it, girl.
You deserve
Yes.
this. It's okay.
I loved that. I obviously love Victoria Ratcliffe. Everything that comes out of her mouth, I love.
The best.
My problem is
Iconic.
My huge issue
Okay.
is Rick. Rick went to see the man he believed killed his father.
Yeah.
Right? He kicked that old man down in a chair. That old man owns the hotel you're staying
Correct.
at. Why on earth did you just casually go back to that hotel, sit down and try to have breakfast and think that nothing was going to happen? And the reason I say this is because we honeymooned in Thailand at a resort very similar to the White Lotus.
Okay.
It was a boat access resort.
Right.
We got there. There was options of boats. You could go on the resort boat or you could do a private boat.
Okay.
We took a private boat there and back so we didn't have to wait for other people. It was that kind of honeymoon.
Of course.
Yeah.
Obviously. Always.
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 So this whole thing like, he was waiting for a boat. No, you didn't have to wait for a boat, Rick. You could have taken any boat to get you and this woman who loves you so much out of this situation.
Yeah.
And none of this would have happened.
No.
So that plot point really bugged me because it was such a big hole that made the rest of it just not line up for me. Because if Rick didn't go back to the restaurant, and no person would go back to the hotel or the restaurant, then none of that would have happened.
I just think that maybe the character of Rick is the type of guy that feels untouchable. Like I sure told him and there's no repercussions for me. And I don't know if that's just a reflection of the character that Mike White wanted to build, which is this is the type of guy that goes back to kind of the scene of the crime and feels like no one will hold him accountable. And like morally, he just feels so superior that he feels like he's untouchable. And maybe he just wasn't expecting anyone to come back after him.
Yeah, maybe not.
But I do feel like there were a few holes. I'm not saying that the storyline was perfect. I think that there was like a few unanswered questions that I was like, well, what's the point of this? What's the point of that?
Right.
There's been so much buildup for me in my algorithm because it was like basically all White Lotus and like lip liner for a good month.
Yep.
And I was, really, really tuned into all of the tiny details of like, oh, this is going to come back and that's going to come back and that's going to make more sense then. And I feel like there were a few threads that were just dropped. And I don't love that. And I feel like Mike White is better than that because I feel like we expect him to kind of make everything make sense. So for example, like, Leslie Bibb's character going over to the Ratliff mom and being like, I know you. And we all thought that was going to kind of come back into play. It didn't. It just died there.
Good point. Unless they're just meant to be those things that get you distracted from trying to figure out, because it really is a whodunit.
What I love to see now, well, first of all, let me just say on the poll that I did take on Instagram, people are not satisfied.
I know.
But I do think that every single season this has happened, where people thought they were not happy until they let it process a little bit.
I wasn't happy when Jennifer Coolidge died.
Right.
But I loved the season.
Okay.
This season for me, it started off slow. I don't think I'm alone in those feelings. And it was, I'm highly entertained always. The characters are incredible. The performances are amazing.
Yeah.
They're just, this would not be my favorite of the 3 seasons. Like there's no way that would be this show. It wasn't want to be like, you have to go watch season 3, I want to go back to Rick for a second because I'm thinking about what you said. Is Rick this like guy who feels untouchable? He actually came across really soft to me. Like he had intentions of going up to this guy with a gun and like, I'm going to kill the man who killed my dad. You kicked a man over in a chair. Mm-hmm. You're not tough or badass here at all, Rick. Yeah. Did you clock though when Chelsea and Rick were at the table? I love her so much. I love that character so much. When she said, we're going to be together forever. Did you know then in that moment she was going to die?
No.
Oh, I thought for sure. I'm like, this girl's so dead.
Oh,
She's so dead. Yeah.
It was the most heartbreaking thing to happen other than, the young son. And thank God he didn't die.
I wanted him to die.
You did?
I really wanted him to die.
What is wrong with you, Danielle?
I really wanted him to die.
Because who eats out of a dirty blender?
Okay, that one though, the internet is so mad at this kid for eating out of a dirty blender. And I'm going to say this. Those people don't have children. Kids are disgusting. Kids are gross.
Fair.
A kid would never wash a blender. My kids walk around brushing their teeth and there's toothpaste shrapnel all over the floors upstairs. Okay.
It happens.
That's on the dad. That
really
dad,
is.
you wanted to kill your family, all of them, and you wanted to.
Yeah.
And the most egregious thing,
right?
You wanted to kill everybody except the youngest son.
Right.
You wanted him to live in the aftermath of your Jonestown moment. Ridiculous.
Jonestown.
It was so. That was the most offensive part. I'm like, this, if you're going to do this, first of all, I can't believe you're even thinking about doing this. You've made the drinks, you left this kid. Now you're going to leave this kid who's like undeveloped for all the reasons. He's a child with all these dead bodies of his family in a foreign country, the nightmare of all of that. And then he's going to go back to America and find out everything that happened. You want to leave him with that? No, you kill him too. He has to die too.
That's almost the most egregious thing of it all.
The most
is
egregious.
Leaving one of them alive to find the bodies.
Yeah. If anyone could have handled that, it would have been Saxon, truthfully.
Right. Yeah.
You don't leave Lachlan with that mess.
No, that's not nice. And I don't know. He doesn't have the skills.
He does not have the skills.
What I've been loving watching is, of course, the fans unpack it all, but also the actors.
Oh my
it's
God.
very clear that this was a very intense project for them. Not just because of the way that it's catapulted them all back into superstardom or for the first time into the headlines in such a major way. It's very clear that they're all extremely emotional about the ending of this chapter. And I just love seeing them all kind of replay some of the best moments of filming together and talking about their relationships or lack thereof. We haven't spoken about how the actor who plays the father,
right?
Jason Isaacs, is it? He talks about the fact that basically it was such an intense filming situation. He describes it as a mix between summer camp and Lord of the Flies.
Oh my God.
Where relationships were built and relationships were lost.
Wait, they don't all just love each other?
Nope.
Oh, that's not. I read that this was a one big happy family because they were on location for what, 6 months?
Yeah, he says, they say in the show what happens in Thailand stays in Thailand, but there's an off-screen White Lotus as well with fewer deaths, but just as much drama. Like this man,
Whoa.
Jason Isaacs was not mincing words. He says, I became very close to some people and less close to others. But we still had that experience, and there's a certain level of discretion required.
Whoa.
So what is he? Because, I mean, that is a man who
Just
loves
burst the
to
bubble.
gossip.
Yeah.
I love it.
Every photo I've seen of this cast, I'm like, wow, what a unique experience where they all got along and wow, he's just blown that whole thing up.
Well, I read the Hollywood Reporter article. I don't know if you saw it, where the cast was all interviewed together. And a lot of people talked about how Walton Goggins was like, he is kind of as strange as he seems in the show. And he really was off doing his own thing and didn't really feel like he fit in. And then Amy Liu, who played Chelsea, really actually did bond with him because she was the only one that was like, no, I'm going to go and I'm going to embrace him and I'm going to make sure he's good and comfortable. And that's how they built such a strong bond, was because she said, this is what Chelsea would do. So that's what she did. And they really befriended each other. And on his Instagram, he posted like a 12 picture carousel just devoted to her and the relationship that they built, which was so beautiful.
I could not love her anymore. I really couldn't.
Honestly.
Can we talk about the Rick of things? Why is the internet asking us if Rick is hot? Is Rick hot? Callie. Yeah.
Do you not think he has some swag?
Absolutely not.
0% of you?
0% of me.
Wow.
Like Rick over Saxon, yes.
Well, I'm not talking about the character as much as I think Walton Goggins, if you actually put him in just on his own, with his style, with his sort of like commitment to the look, with his tan and he's very fit, and like, no, the internet is thirsting for Walton.
But people are asking themselves, they're like, is he hot? Am I seeing what everybody else? I don't get it. I don't
Well,
see
they're
it.
saying basically the people who are suffering the most, the industries that will suffer the most from this season of White Lotus are orthodontics, so my family, and hair transplants.
Right.
Because we have this bald man who everyone is thirsting for.
Yes.
And Amy Liu for just owning those teeth and just being adorably imperfect and embracing all of that. I loved it.
It's not wrong. Do you know who I really wanted to die?
Who?
That Damien, that hotel manager guy.
Oh yeah, no, he
needed to die. The guy who's
You're right.
The guy who said to Belinda, Belinda's like, hey, this Gary Gregg guy is like a murderer, and I'm afraid I'm gonna get murdered. And all he kept going on about was his performance. Like, shut up, Damien.
Yeah, no, he was obnoxious.
I really wanted him to die
right.
in that shootout so badly. I just needed to see the end of him.
That would have been actually a perfect ending.
And who I wanted to kill him was the girl I loved the most. I think her name was Pam. She was the hotel staff member that had the phones in the bag. Oh. You know?
Yes.
Where it was like, do you like having the break from your phone? I'm going to need to take your phone. You can't use your phone
Oh my
here.
God,
She
yes.
had, like, literally her whole personality was taking people's phones and talking about being phoneless and
Yes.
holding that bag.
Yes.
I just wanted a gun to come out of that bag and her to shoot Damien because I hated him. And I couldn't imagine. We've all worked alongside of Damien.
Totally.
The worst.
Yes.
The worst.
I'll leave you with this. I heard that there is a scene that was not included, and it was a sex scene between Zion and Piper.
I'd have been into it.
I can't believe that they cut that out.
I know.
How could they do that to us?
I don't know. I guess the episode
They wanted
wasn't
to leave us with only the creepy sexual bits.
right. Not something like that.
Not something that we could all just enjoy a little bit.
I would have loved that, and I would have loved just a little more Ratliff revelation at the end.
Right.
So they're on the boat.
Yeah.
The phones are just coming back online. I would have loved just like a few moments of a face and a comment and a something.
Yeah.
I know a cliffhanger is kind of the thing. I
Yeah.
needed just a smidge.
Well, they're saying online that if we want to see the sequel of the Rat Lifts, all you need to do is watch Schitt's Creek.
Right. It's so true.
Right?
It's so true.
Like, it's actually so true.
It is.
I love that.
Now that we've unpacked it, you know what? Maybe I liked it more than I think I did.
And I think that's the thing. It's like we're watching it so specifically with this like fine-toothed lens, and like we're so critical of it. But actually, if you zoom out, it is a beautiful, entertaining piece of art.
It is.
And we really don't have anything else. Like, no one is like Mike White. What a weirdo. What a lovable weirdo.
It's so true.
Okay, we have to talk about the Beckham sons.
Yeah.
Because there is some drama. And it doesn't have to do with infidelity with the parents
It
this
does.
time.
It does not. This is brothers feuding. And I know it makes me
I
sad.
know.
It really does. So Brooklyn Beckham is married to, he's Brooklyn Peltz Beckham.
Indeed.
He is. And he's married to Nicola Peltz Beckham. So they've merged these last names. His brother, Romeo, is dating DJ Kim Turnbull, who previously dated Brooklyn.
Allegedly.
Now, Cruz did jump into the comments on a post where somebody was like, it's weird that this girl's dating your brother and dated your other brother. And he said they never dated. But apparently they dated.
Right.
And it's caused some drama. If they dated, it is straight up weird to date two brothers. Have you ever dated two brothers?
Actually, I have. And let me tell you about this. And I didn't think about this till just now.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Okay. There is a family from Winnipeg, and was like a very cool family. Okay. The boys, one of them was my age. I feel so bad if they listen to this. They don't listen. One of them was my age, and the other brother was a bit older. The older brother was like the heartthrob of like my grade 7 class. Okay. Everybody loved him.
Okay.
The younger brother, slightly less desirable looking, not quite as attractive as the older brother, but definitely more accessible.
I see.
So what does Callie do? She
Swings for the fences.
Swings for the lowest hanging fruit.
What? Oh.
Just to get in the house.
Oh my God. You
Yep.
are Kim Turnbull right now.
I am a bit of a kid. And you know what? Watch out. She has bad intentions. I just wanted to get the older brother's attention the whole time. And guess what? I did.
So if Kim Turnbull dated Brooklyn, the older one, now has moved on to Romeo, younger one, it's in the reverse, but it's still twinged with weird.
Yeah.
And apparently, and this is a very close family. Like I would say the Beckhams, for a super, 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 super famous family, are pretty normy in the way that they hang out together.
I agree.
They spend a lot of time together. They love being together. You can see it. There's a lot of like full family unit photo moments and holidays and things like that. David just had his 50th birthday party, big celebration.
Yeah.
Looks so good for 50.
Dear
like,
Lord.
what's up?
Yeah.
Like, what's up?
What is up?
He's one of the few people in real life who literally took my breath away when I saw him in
way.
person. Yeah, I was like, this is not possible that you are that good looking.
Wow.
That good looking.
Okay.
Legit. Like, whoa.
Damn.
Whoa.
And
And
the
so
accent.
nice. Like
Yeah.
the nicest. We such a great chat with him. Anyway, noticeably absent from David's birthday party was Brooklyn and his wife Nicola. They're apparently staying away from any interactions with Romeo and Kim.
Yeah, and so it sounds like Brooklyn is not upset because he's jealous. It sounds like he's suspicious that Kim has bad intentions and that she's not in it for, as we say in the Bachelor world, the right reasons.
Right.
I could see there being a hanger-on or staged 5 clinger,
Yeah.
wanting to cling on to the Beckham family and doing that via the lower hanging fruit.
Right.
Right. Sounds like maybe Brooklyn ended things or it never really progressed to where she wanted it to. So she set her sights on the brother.
The accessible brother. So now Brooklyn and his wife did not show up to David's party. They also did not show up to Victoria's fashion show last month. So they've not been seen in the family unit, and they've made apparently a statement, or sorry, not a statement. They've made it known that they're not going to go anywhere or be a part of any event that includes Romeo and his girlfriend.
I hate that.
I hate that too. I hate that too
for this family.
I do too. It makes me sad.
I hate that. And I'm like, okay, is there any other way that he could get his point across? Like, I guess these boys are lover boys, okay? Like, the Beckham boys love. That's very clear.
Yeah.
The fact that Brooklyn took on his wife's last name,
Yes.
Peltz, like, that is so cute. They got married in their early 20s, you know, so we know that the Beckham sons love, and I feel like Romeo is blinded by the love, and we know that a lady can cloud a man's judgment.
It's true.
And his big brother is clearly looking out for him in a way, but maybe not approaching it in the best way. I don't know if abstaining from all family events is really going to help his case.
So there was a time when Nicola, Brooklyn's wife, and Victoria apparently were on the outs. And it stemmed back to the wedding dress.
Mm-hmm.
Nicola chose another designer, didn't choose a Victoria dress. Why?
Terrible choice.
Terrible choice.
Yeah.
So they were already kind of on the periphery of the family. Then they came back in. Now they're out again because of this discomfort.
Like self-imposed.
Right. But how does that feel if you're those two?
I feel like, can't you just ignore this girl? Can't you just you know what? Just make her just go to the events and limit your time with her and just have faith that everything will work out the way it's meant to. Maybe you have one-on-one conversations with your brother.
Sure.
Maybe you're trying to actually communicate versus expelling yourself from the family. And at the end of the day, you're the ones that are losing out on time, the 50th birthday and
big event
moments for your mom. Like, I feel like this is not the most mature way to handle it.
It isn't. And I really do feel for David and Victoria. I hate when my kids fight. It's mostly just annoying when they fight, but I really don't like it. And my brother and I have had seasons where we did not get along and didn't speak for months at a time. And it was really hard on my parents.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it's really terrible on a family when, if that's what's happening, it's really sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not great.
Not me airing out my family's dirty laundry.
Well,
You're
listen,
welcome.
we can all relate. And
We're
especially
good now.
and exactly. And that's the thing about siblings is like, you know, how it is today will be different tomorrow. Like it's all good at the end of the day, right? We're family.
Of course.
Or at least that's how you hope that they're approaching it. And I think that they'll be okay. I don't know. I got to think that Brooklyn saw something in this girl, Kim, and he's just like, he's not he's not handling it the best way he could, but I think his intentions are to look out for his brother.
Yes. There's no way a bigger brother isn't looking out for their younger brother and their best interests and protecting them in all ways. I think that's what it is, but I agree with you. Removing yourselves entirely is just maybe not the best strategy.
Have you seen pictures of Harper 7? First of all, Harper 7 is the cutest name of all time.
Remember when she was born?
Yeah, I do, actually.
I do too. And now she's a full-on teenager?
Full-on human.
She's gorgeous.
She is. She kind of looks like she could be your daughter.
Really?
She's blonde.
That's like the nicest thing anyone could say. She's gorgeous.
She's angelic.
She is.
Like,
She's
the boys
perfect.
are, and they are also gorgeous. Like, have you seen the modeling photos of Romeo?
Yeah.
Like,
what's up?
whoa. Like, Brooklyn seems kind of like the normie, and he's like out there doing his cooking, and he's got his hot sauce and all this stuff, and he's like more relatable. Romeo seems like a bit of a heartbreaker. He's a bit more brooding, which I think tracks with this story.
And his name?
Yes. Romeo the Heartbreaker.
Yeah.
And then Harper, sorry to skip over Cruz, I don't know anything about him, but Harper,
He is the most forgettable brother.
he is,
Sorry.
as of now, but you know, there's still time for him to create some of his own drama. But Harper, oh my God.
I know.
She doesn't look anything like her brothers. She looks like, again, I think she could be your long lost daughter potentially. But yeah, damn. I love talking about this family, and I'm down for this story to progress just so we can revisit.
So let's talk about our old pal, George Clooney. We've yet to talk about him on this show.
It's been a minute since I've talked about him in general.
I know, but here he is. And
In all his hair-dyed glory.
what happened there? No. Okay. I can't believe that was for any other reason except a role.
Well, I think, I think it's for the Broadway show.
It is? Okay.
But when I saw the photo of him, because, we know George Clooney has been salt and pepper since he was like in his 30s, I feel
The
like.
silver
since he was
fox.
on ER. Yeah.
Gorgeous mop of silver hair.
Totally.
Perfect. Somebody would ask for that.
Yeah.
Somebody hopes that they age that
Like
way.
that.
That's the trajectory you want to go on.
That's the dream. And then we see him on the red carpet with this almost like red tinged hair dye.
It looked like box hair dye.
Black, it's red.
Yeah.
Been there.
Yeah.
Been there. Not a good look on any of us. And doesn't work for George. If it doesn't work for George, who could it work for? Because he is literally like the most handsome devil.
63 years old, looking so good.
Looking so good. But I actually think that hair ages him.
That new hair is so bad.
Yeah.
No depth, no dimension, no richness. Just it looks like you did it yourself.
I do think it's for the role. He made his debut on Broadway last week.
Huge deal.
Which is kind of shocking that he's never done Broadway before.
I felt that way too.
Yeah, I was like, oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And the role that he took on is for Good Night and Good Luck, which is the movie he starred in.
That's right.
In the early 2000s, starred in and directed.
Yeah.
So he was nominated for 2 Oscars for that movie, for writing and directing.
Yep.
And now he's starring in the Broadway play in a different role.
It's a different role here.
Yeah, he's playing a different role.
You went on your George Clooney news.
You know, me and George. I love him. But I think what everyone's talking about is, other than his hair, is the fact that Amal, his wife of 10 years, was nowhere to be seen. Now, you tell me. So we have heard that she was with the kids, quote unquote, as he said.
Yeah,
with
she
the
was
kids.
not at the premiere. When he was asked about it, his response was, she's with the kids.
She's with the kids. So you tell me, as the parenting expert of the show, if Randall had a day, and a moment, the way that George had his debut on Broadway, under what circumstances would you not find childcare?
Unless we had the norovirus again.
Unless you had the norovirus.
No, that's the only reason. Exactly to your point. Because it made no sense to me either. This is a moment, of course. This is Broadway. Also a moment he qualified as a dream come true. This is something he said he's always wanted to do, that if any actor tells you it's not their dream, they're lying. This was a huge, this wasn't just any old film premiere. Okay. At this point, he's done dozens of those. Maybe we missed that.
Yeah.
This is a once in a lifetime, massive, massive thing he's done and taken on. There's lots of other friends and family that have come out and supported. We saw Jennifer Lopez there. We see some ER people. Noah Wiley's there. Juliana Margulies is there. Lots of people. And she's not there.
Yeah.
And I know, and I wouldn't say, and now, everyone is thinking, and I'm doing the same thing.
There's speculation.
Is everything okay? I don't think that speculation is stemming from the fact that she didn't show up. That speculation has been swirling for months.
It has.
That they're living separate lives, that we're not seeing them, that they are, not showing up places together. And now this?
Yeah.
Just, there's no reason. Unless she had norovirus.
Yeah.
Because when I had norovirus, I couldn't have left the house.
Yes.
Unless I was wearing...
No, you were down for the count.
That's it.
No, you're right. It's
Child
possible.
and they were, Amal and the children, they're 7 years old now, which is also crazy to me. Were in New York. Crazy. They're apparently in the city. They
Right, so
weren't
you're in the city.
in the city.
And it's one night.
Yeah.
Right. So the kids are there. It's not like you have to leave them in Lake Como. Everyone's there. He's confirmed that they all are in New York.
Yeah.
And she just had to be with the kids. I guess to me, and again, I'm not the expert. I do not have children, but I do have a husband. And if this was as big of a moment as we heard him talk about and explain, and I didn't show up for him,
His dream.
that would be very strange.
It is strange.
First of all, this woman is not shy when it comes to the spotlight.
No.
Like, she loves a good fashion moment.
Yes.
She loves a red carpet. It's not like she rarely appears. Like, for most of their relationship, she has been with him by his side for his biggest moments in his career.
Out there.
So this is a red herring. I just feel like it's a bit odd.
It's a bit odd. I don't know, Callie. I don't know about this for them this year. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to say it, but I don't know. I don't like it. If there's enough smoke, and there's been quite a bit of smoke, history has told us there is fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's true, sadly.
Yeah, it is.
I guess we'll watch this space.
Okay. Speaking of space,
Oh, yes.
I
Look
picked
at
up where you were
that.
going. We have to talk about this all women space flight to space.
Space flight to space.
That's where
Yep.
they're going. I am so spacey and sciencey.
I mean, yeah, if you want the experts on all things rocket science,
It's
you
you and I.
have come to the right show.
No, actually, I did ask Randall about this.
Yeah, of
the
course.
space flight.
I also asked James.
Yeah. So the story is 6 women are going to space. First time it's been an all-female flight since 1963.
Mm-hmm.
They're going on Blue Origin, which is Jeff Bezos's rocket ship. According to Randall, barely space.
Yes, that's what
He's
James said.
They're barely going to space. They're going to feel like zero gravity for a second, and then they're going to come back home. And he's not wrong.
Right.
It's 11 minutes round
Right.
trip. Did you know
Start
that?
to finish. Yep.
So it's basically a higher end elevated Disney ride at this point.
Kind of. Yeah. It's like the drop of terror.
Right? Just a little bit longer.
Just a little bit longer.
So the women on the flight, there's the
And a lot more expensive.
we don't even know the full cost of this. Do you know the full cost?
No, but
Okay.
I can't imagine.
The women going to space that we know, Gayle King is going to space, Katy Perry is going to space,
Yeah. Lauren Sanchez.
and Lauren Sanchez in a bustier. is
And then
going
a
to
rocket
space.
scientist.
Yes.
A bioastronaut researcher and a film producer.
They're going next week. It's going to be live streamed. The bio researcher and the NASA engineer makes sense to me.
These are the people that we need to be sending to space.
Really, but they're not really doing anything up there, and that's
No, but if anyone would be interested and deserves a moment
to see the Earth.
to do that.
You want to see the Earth?
Can you
You've
explain
earned
to me
it.
the Katy Perry of it all? And Lauren Sanchez, okay, she's there by default because
It's her boyfriend.
it's her boyfriend. Yeah. And so he's just like, big flex.
Go to
hop
space.
in my rocket.
Yeah.
Literally.
Oh, you're totally right.
You want to check out my rocket?
Yeah, it's like the Tom Cruise helicopter, but bigger.
Yes. It
Ick.
is. Total ick.
You have a rocket ship?
No way.
Gross.
No way.
No, thank you. But all that to say, there's a few things here.
Yeah.
And Olivia Munn had a lot of things to say about it.
She sure did.
So these people are going to space. What we know is they're only their 11th human flight. For me, no
That's
thank
too
you.
soon.
I want 3011 before I'm getting on a rocket ship to barely space.
Correct.
No, I fully subscribe to life is about experiencing things. We are an
Sure.
experiences over things, family. I operate from yes. This for me,
Yeah. Too
big,
soon.
big, too soon.
Too soon.
You haven't tested this enough.
No.
11 rips up to there? Not for me. I'm not
I'm
going to be number
good.
12.
Yeah, no, it's a no for me, dog. And absolutely
What's your
not.
no? Why is it a no for you?
I honestly, I can look at a photo. I'm good. I don't need to be in outer space. Unless I have to vacate this earth because it's on fire.
Right.
And there's, dog spacesuits and I could take everyone with me, then I'm just gonna keep my 2 feet on the ground. Thank you very much.
I totally agree. I
Mm-hmm.
also think it's just not the look. Olivia Munn had a lot to say about it. So
Agreed.
now we got Gayle King and Katie and Lauren and the other very accomplished people going on this space trip.
Yeah.
She said she feels it's gluttonous and it's hard to really ignore that piece. Like
Yeah.
let's call this what this is. This is not the look for Gayle King. America is in crisis.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not going to get political on this show.
No.
The economy is in crisis.
Crisis.
Markets are abysmal.
Yeah.
People can't afford eggs is what she said, which is so true.
It is
so
true.
how can you, Gayle King, justify this kind of trip? I just think it's just not where we are and not where we should be. And again, it's just really highlighting what everyone's been talking about, this enormous valley and disparity in wealth. Like it's just so gross and obvious in this
You're
case.
right.
I just don't think she was advised well. And I
Yeah.
think this is, for me, I'm not loving Gayle King in this moment. I'm not loving Katy Perry in this moment. I'm going to give Lauren a discount. It's your boyfriend. I don't love them for this.
Well, I on a regular good day I'm not a huge Katy Perry stan. When it comes to Gayle, I think if I'm trying to look at it from her lens, because she is a smart woman.
Yep.
She is well informed.
News person.
Yeah, she's well informed. I think she has a good head on her shoulders. And so I'm like thinking, what is she thinking?
Why are you doing this?
And why are you doing this? And I think some of the stuff I saw about her was her talking about how she just wanted to really present to young women like what could be possible. Now, my feeling is like I don't feel like you earned this. I don't feel like this is yours. Like this is necessarily like a big accomplishment for you. But I think from her perspective, I think what she was trying to say is like, say yes to big dreams, say yes to thinking outside the box, that kind of thing. So whatever, I'll leave that. But Katie, the reason why, well, first of all, Katie is to me one of the most unlikable people in Hollywood. And I'll say it.
I love that you said it.
I don't like her. She's made some extremely questionable choices in her career, in her music career, right? Her most recent album, which was all about female empowerment. She made that entire record with Dr. Luke, who was accused of sexual assault and rape and drugging of Kesha. And regardless of, you know, the ins and outs of that case, like to go back and be associated and to give that man work and to give him space on your record after you're making a self-proclaimed album about women for women.
Right.
I'm sorry. That's problematic.
Yep.
I can't unsee that.
True.
And for her to do this, it kind of tracks for me. She is so out of touch. She's saying things for the headlines. There's nothing genuine. You know, when they asked her about in the interview with Elle magazine, where they interviewed all 6 women, she says they're going to put the ass in astronaut.
Oh boy.
The ass. How about you're just an ass.
Right. You're just an ass.
You're just an ass. Katy Perry, stop.
And also
Stop.
how could you possibly reduce the achievement of astronaut to
Excuse
that?
me?
Yeah, that's reductive. That's actually really rude.
It's really rude.
It's
and,
really rude.
You
Oh,
know,
boy.
I love a fake lash. I love a glam moment. I love all of it.
Yeah.
But for Elle magazine and for these women to focus on, even as a joke, that taking glam into outer space,
They are
is
going
like
in full glam.
one of the things that they want to achieve. Like, I'm sorry, we have lost the plot, people.
Well, we can't say this is a real moment for women and then say, and we're taking full glam into outer space.
Come on.
You're right. The whole thing is
Like,
just...
we're going to go up and take some selfies and do glam. And if I could put glam in the rocket, I would. Stop it.
I know.
Yeah, you're walking us back decades.
You are.
And all the women that have worked so hard, and I'm happy that there are at least a few that are going to be on this flight who actually deserve to be there, who have actually contributed to the technology and to the advancement of this science. I'm happy they're going to be there. The rest of them, this is a flex for whatever
Social
his
media.
Face, and whatever his face and his girlfriend. This is another stupid move for a stupid woman who's made other stupid calls. Katy Perry and Gail, I don't know, babe. Like, call Oprah. What's she saying? Because I can't imagine that Oprah stands behind this.
You said it all. Callie, you are not wrong on any of it.
It.
And I actually feel for the very accomplished women who deserve to see the earth and to get into outer space and to feel that whole experience, to be on board with this gaggle of people who aren't going to be taking it in and appreciating it most likely for what it really is if they're talking about glam and selfies up in outer space. And also, Gail King, you've done enough to prove what's possible in life. Look what you've accomplished. You are a national news anchor.
You're a national treasure.
You are a national treasure. You are beloved. You don't have to prove anything about what's possible. You've done that by being you. That can't be the excuse for this. I don't buy that. That's a really very hollow excuse for this space flight.
And if they are sending these women like for free or like not making them pay, why don't you get a couple of students who study astro whatever, like study space, and
those people
and are working at NASA,
send them,
who are like scrubbing the floors in NASA. Like, are you kidding me?
Right.
This is so ridiculous.
It is.
It's ridiculous, and it's making everyone look bad. And it's just, these are bad calls. I don't get it. And it's like, it's not cute, guys. It's really not that cute.
It's not. And the public isn't having it.
No.
Nobody's like, yay, have a great trip.
And
so
to
looking
live
forward
stream it?
The live stream of it. Yeah. I mean, I'll probably watch it.
Yeah. Like nervously, because also only 11 people have survived this. Or like 11
journeys. 11 minute trips up to space.
Yikes.
No, thank you. not for me.
It's a hard no.
A big hard no.
You know who would be a hard yes? Both of our husbands.
100%.
I have to literally talk James out of going to space all the time. Not that this is like an option for us,
Right.
but like he'll talk about like when I go to, I'm like, babe, I'm sorry. You are going to have to divorce me and then kill me and bury me in the backyard before I will allow you to go and do something like this. No.
I had the opportunity through my previous job to go to NASA and do interviews.
Cool.
Super cool. Major security clearance. I'm talking major.
Right.
And I tried to get Randall to come with me because he was so crushed that I was going to NASA.
I bet.
I had to buy him everything in the gift shop. Like,
You're like, here's a souvenir.
only way I could get back home
Yeah.
is if I like got him actual stuff from actual NASA.
Yeah, because we're married to nerds.
We're married to
And
nerds.
that is the life that we live.
And we have proven that many times on this show.
We sure have.
We love those nerds.
We sure have.
And we love you.
Yeah, we
And
do.
Thank you for once again listening and engaging and loving the show. We love hearing from you and
Let
all your
us
feedback.
know your thoughts on White Lotus.
Yeah.
Let us know your thoughts on NASA. Are we being too hard on these women? Tell us.
No, but tell us.
I don't think so.
But we're not.
I don't think so either.
And let us know what you think about the Carl interview as well.
Yes, we can't wait for feedback on that. Can't wait for you to hear that one.
Yeah.
What a pleasure.
What a pleasure as always. We'll see you next week.
Love ya.